afternoon. Russell of Hotels going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. Today is Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry, Hump Day. So hope you guys are doing well on this Hump Day or Wednesday, August 13th. It's 1 o'clock. I didn't purposely do this at 1 o'clock. It just happened to be 1 o'clock, I guess. But this is the daily check-in. I do the daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The On Air with Russell of Hotels comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So I don't want to confuse people, but that was yesterday, right? So it did come on yesterday. I did a brief show because I was on location. I was actually live from the Moxie Hotel downtown Los Angeles. I wanted to be near the energy of ASAE. Okay, although I did not attend. There's a lot of hotel people as well as DMO people, CVP, CVB, tourism, all that kind of stuff were there at the convention center. So the Moxie Hotel is located directly across from the convention center and crypto arena. So just in case you did not know. So I just wanted to capture the energy. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do my show live from there, from the lobby. So that's what I did. We're actually in the bar area of the Moxie. So if you haven't been to the Moxie, it's a Marriott branded hotel, select service, or specialty service. What do they call them? But very nice. It's cool. Okay, it's cool. Kind of edgy, kind of funky, edgy and funky at the same time. Some of them are edgier than most, right? The one in Denver is like over the top edgy, but this one, it's not as edgy as the one in Denver, but it's kind of cool, and I like the vibe. And they're always like playing music, and it could be like hip hop, it could be rock, things that are not traditional for a Marriott branded hotel. A lot of people don't even know that Moxie is part of the Marriott family. Well, it is, and I like that, they went off and said, you know what, we're gonna get this brand that, is kind of edgy, kind of funky, kind of, not what you would expect. And that's what they got. If they asked for it, they got it. But no, anyway, but it's like 348 rooms, I believe, somewhere around there, 300 rooms or so. Then it's a dual branded property, which next door to it, same building, but kind of on the other side of the building is an AC hotel, which is Marriott too. So it's a dual branded property, two hotels in one building, if that makes sense to anyone out there. That's the new thing. That's been going on about at least a decade. They've been building these dual branded properties, two brands. You go to, say you're on the elevator, same elevator bank, you take the elevator up to the 15th floor, you go left to go to the Moxie, you go right to go to the AC. That's just how it is, right? So kind of funky. That's kind of funky too, right? So anyway, once again, Russell of Hotels, I do this live. I do this daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like I said, the time is typically unknown. 1 o'clock is not the normal time. It just happened to work out that time. But I can do it either from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's the timeline, okay? But it's going to get done because it's all about, catching up on things and sharing information with people. I'm all about hospitality, 100% about hospitality. That's what I do. That's what I am. I couldn't be called Russell of Hotels if I didn't talk about hospitality, right? And the hat right here, that means that's ROH, right? That means Russell of Hotels, not run of house. I got people saying, or I got one person saying, oh, you got your run of house hat on. I'm like, run of house? No, Russell of Hotels. But I guess it can mean the same thing, right? Run of house, of course, that's a hotel term, one of those acronyms, ROH, run of house. Basically for group business, like say if I send out an RFP and I get a proposal and I don't basically distinguish what room types I want. Like just say I just want rooms at this point. I'll determine what the room types will be, singles, kings, doubles, double-doubles, whatever, double queens or whatever. So instead of them giving me an assigned room type, they just say run of house, meaning ROH, run of house. That's what they'll do, right? So normally. So that's what that term means for people that did not know, because I see somebody in the back over there by the pool that didn't know what that meant. They like had their hand up like, oh my God, I don't know what that means. Help me out. Anyway, there you go. And This doesn't have to be that long. It won't be that long. Okay, so this is the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, like I said. And I'll never do one of these shows where I'm not either showcasing a hotel or I may be live from a hotel. So yesterday was the Moxie downtown Los Angeles, which is a Marriott brand. Today is kind of repeating some stuff from last week. Remember, I was at the PGA National Resort out there in Florida, in Palm Beach, Florida. So Palm Gardens, excuse me, Palm Gardens, Florida. So that's where I'm not there, but this is the hotel or the resort that I'm showcasing today. So I will always do that. It's all about visibility with me. You guys know that. It's all about creating that brand awareness, just in case people did not know anything about either this hotel, PGA National in Florida, or the Moxie, downtown Los Angeles, right? There's people out there that don't know these hotels exist. So my job is to make sure they know, okay? So, just a little, I just do a little bit of this, right? I can just take this hotel, that hotel, and just put it on this little platform, and hopefully people see it and they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize there was a Moxie downtown LA, or I didn't realize there was a hotel right across from the convention center, or right across from Crypto Arena, because I'm going to a Sparks game tonight and I wanted to stay downtown. Now that I know there's a Marriott property that I can walk to and be there like in less than like 5 minutes, that's where I want to stay. So they may not have known that. Or they may not have known that, oh my God, Palm Beach or Palm Garden, Florida, I can go and stay at the PGA National. I can stay at that hotel, play around the golf at one of the best golf courses in the United States. And I get to choose from 6 of them, okay? 6 golf courses that I want to play in. So people may not have known that. So my job as Russell of Hotels is to share the information. So like I said, I'll never do one of these shows where I'm not showcasing a hotel, okay? So it's all about brand awareness, like I said. So once again, this is the PGA National Resort. There you go. Let's move on. Move on. So yeah, top 50 social media influencers in global hospitality. Also, my show is one of the top 50 global hospitality podcasts, right? So on air with Russell of Hotels. It doesn't say that here, but yeah, I got accolades on that one too. So I just want to make sure I throw it out there. Why am I letting you know? Because you may not have known. Just like you may not have known about those 2 hotels that I mentioned, you may not have known that, top 50 social media influencers in global hospitality. That would be me. I'm one of the 50, right? So there's 49 others. Shout out to those 49 others that received this recognition as well. It's a thing, right? It's a big thing. So I appreciate the International Hospitality Institute for the distinction. Shout out to Dr. Jeffrey O. Appreciate it. And so there's other people on that list as well. So, you can congratulate those people as well. I have. So I just want to make sure I mention, because if you don't know, I have to tell you, right? So my job is to inform people about everything, right? So this is one of the things, because some people may be like, well, why does he do this? I mean, is anybody ever watching this stuff? Is his content any good? Well, obviously the content must be somewhat good if, I'm getting some kind of recognition here. So I just appreciate that, right? I want to appreciate it. And you always want to thank the people that have helped you out in your journey, right? Back in 2019, who would have known this, right? That's when I started my first episode. Now I'm up to 300 and next week will be 310, right? I didn't even realize that until yesterday, that yesterday was 309. So of course, after that it's 310. I'm like, every 10 episodes is like a new milestone, right? So who would have known that, all those years ago, 309 episodes ago, that we would be at this point. So I'm just thankful for that. And I appreciate everyone that has been supporting me over the years of this. So, of course, I'm always going to mention this stuff because I think it's important. It's muy importante that people know. So the blog, okay, so the blog has all kind of information on there. So just go to russellofhotels.com. And that's a little dark right there. Let me see if I can lighten that up. I didn't realize it was that dark. See if I can lighten that up. See, there you go. There you go. So go russellofhotels.com, go to the blog. It's a drop-down menu. Bing! And anything that I talk about Well, I was going to say, including today's topic. Well, no, I did not get a chance to put today's topic on there. But after the show's over, I will put it on my blog, on my website, so that way you can go back and take a look. So you don't have to, you still don't have to write anything down, right? You don't have to commit anything to memory. Just know that I'm going to update my blog after this, right? I just forgot. Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot. So this is the room. Okay. This is the room, guest room that I stayed in at the PGA National Resort. So, I always want to show you where I stay. Okay. Just so you know, right? I'm not just, taking photos and walking and moving on, right? Sneaking in the hotels and taking photos and running out. No, I'm actually staying there. So you see what I see, right? Whatever I experience, I'm going to take you along the way. So this was actually a double room, right? And these are double doubles. Okay, so some rooms. This room is big enough to have like double kings in there. It can have two king size beds because the room is that big, right? All you gotta do is move out that table right there and maybe get a smaller couch. But yeah, you can have double kings in there. Have you ever seen rooms that have double kings? I think in my lifetime, I've stayed at one hotel that had double king beds. So I'm like, this is crazy, right? So a lot of the older hotels, their rooms are bigger, they're larger, right? So you can do things like that. You can be a little bit creative, if the hotel wants to spend the money on two king size beds instead of two queens or maybe even two doubles. People still do the double doubles as well. So anyway, so this was two double doubles. One was to sleep in, and then the other one was to put all my clothes on. So there you go. That's how I roll. All right. So, but yeah. So just go to the blog, russellofhotels.com. Go to the blog, drop down, and you'll see all the information there. I updated. There's photos when I was in Panama a couple of weeks ago, and there'll be photos of the PGA as well, PGA National. And then next week, I forgot all about this. Next week, I'll be somewhere else. I'll be in Toledo, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I tell people I'm going to certain destinations, right? Toledo is a destination. And some people are like, what is in Toledo that they need to have you're calling it a destination. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It doesn't matter where it is. It is a destination. It's somewhere where groups, companies, organizations will have meetings. Okay, they will congregate there. They will have meetings. Obviously, they have hotels there, right? It's a business community. It's a residential community. It's a community. Okay, so a lot of what's going on now is that a lot of people that were meeting in the bigger cities, the bigger cities come with a bigger price. Okay, so even some of these smaller destinations that you don't consider like are viable for meeting business or whatever, they actually have gone up on their prices too, because it's all about supply and demand, right? So if they know that, the big fish, the big destinations in their area may be filled up, well, guess what? They're going to raise their rates too. So everything is not as inexpensive as we think it should be, right? So these destinations like Toledo and, a lot of the other ones have capitalized on that since COVID, because COVID kind of screwed some people over when it came to meetings, right? So, people try to rebook and everyone's trying to go to the popular destinations, whatever. So it ended up pushing business to the, your third, fourth, fifth tier destinations, fifth tier city or fifth tier destinations, right? Like a Toledo or like a Greenville, South Carolina, which is probably one of the better, smaller BMOs I've ever been to. I've ever experienced. There's so much charm in the smaller ones, and sometimes you get caught up or you get lost in the bigger destinations, right? Now the airlift may be, the airlift in the bigger cities, of course, is going to be better. Okay, you're going to have more options, but they're normally Toledo has an airport where you can fly into Detroit, so that's where I'm flying into. Detroit, it's like a 40-minute drive, I believe, and I believe they're going to have a shuttle that's going to take us to and from the airport. So I'm actually flying into Detroit, and then Toledo is about 40 minutes. Detroit is in Michigan, Toledo is in Ohio. So check your map, right? Geography, okay? Those two states, border against each other at some point. So there you go. So yeah, so never discount a destination because you don't know unless you go. right? So I don't know. I haven't said anything about it because I want to make sure I go and check it out, and then I can say intelligently that, oh my God, Toledo has got it going on. It's what's happening. I don't know if I'm gonna say that, but I have to go and check it out first before I can say that, right? So, like, I haven't been. I can't even speak. I'm just so excited. I can't even speak. I had not been to the PGA National Resort before. I've heard of it, but I've never been there. So I go there and I'm experienced it. Now I have experienced it. Now I can say intelligently, hey, this is a great place for a group, okay? Or, specific groups, right? Maybe one that's into golf or pickleball, or they need a resort, in Florida, that's not too far from airport, maybe within an hour of a major airport. I mean, those are things we have to look at. The food is good, service is good. Those are things that we are, as meeting planners or meeting professionals, we're evaluating on the fly, and many times, right? So we're just on the fly, just trying to evaluate all these different things, right? So yeah, so that's why I do a lot of videos, right? Because I want to I want to capture the moment, if you will. Okay, so that way I can share that with whoever follows me on LinkedIn and YouTube. And speaking of LinkedIn and YouTube, I'm live on those platforms right now. So feel free, if you're on YouTube, feel free to make comments. I know yesterday I was having some issues. Well, I didn't have the issues. It was the hotel didn't have enough bandwidth for me. When you mess with the free Wi-Fi in the hotel lobbies, sometimes you cannot transmit your live shows to multiple platforms. And I needed a certain amount of bandwidth, let's just call it bandwidth. I needed a certain amount of bandwidth, but I wasn't able to do it. So one had to go away, and that was YouTube yesterday. So, I'm back in my home studio today, so I'm ready to go, right? So I'm live on YouTube, live on LinkedIn. So feel free to make your comments if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, maybe you don't even subscribe to my channel, please do so. Just go Russell of Hotels on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, ding, and then whenever I go live, on YouTube, you'll get a notification, which is 5 days a week. So if you want to get 5 bings, bing, 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 you know what? Just do it, right? Just do it. And on LinkedIn, feel free to make your comments, but they will not be on in real time. Okay, I just, I can't help that. That has nothing to do with me. It won't be in real time, but I'll still respond to your comments after this show's over when I go back and take a look. So please do that. That would be good. That would be good. Boom. Okay. Partnership. Now you guys know I did. Oh my God, it was so much fun. It was something I never done before. Okay. But it was about elevating your brand experience, right? Elevating your brand, not necessarily your brand experience, but elevating your brand. So people. So at the conference, so let's say Destination Southeast, which was last week, okay, that I attended, and North Star, we kind of came with this partnership where I was able to have conversations. People will call them interviews. You know how you have a podcast or whatever. You invite people, you invite guests on, and you're interviewing them. But I don't call them interviews. I call them a conversation. We're having conversations with 11 people that individually 11 people that were interested in elevating their brand. And how could they elevate their brand, Russell? Well, we're having conversations. Everything is about storytelling, just in case you did not know. Everything is about storytelling, and even with people. Because just remember this, the brand is you. You are the brand. So whoever's listening, point to yourself like this. I am the brand, because you are the brand. The brand starts with you. People will buy you or your brand, whatever you stand for, before they buy the hotel, the DMO that you're working for. They're not going to buy the DMO. They're not going to buy the hotel. They're buying you. Okay, you're selling the things, whatever the rates, you're selling the dates, the rates, the space. Okay, you're selling all that to them, but they're buying it from you. They have to be comfortable with you in order for them to settle on those, the conditions of the contract or the rates or the room type or the meeting space or the convention center or whatever it is, or the destination. They have to be comfortable with you before they do that. So we need to get in the habit of saying that, hey, I'm the brand, okay? I am the brand who represents this brand, all right? Because once again, I'll say this again, they are buying you before they even get to that point. So North Star allowed me to go and, like I said, set up a, a booth, okay, with cameras and lights and all the action that you can handle, okay? So shout out to Bruce Jordan, the MJ of hotels. He was my producer on this. He has the cameras. He came up with the entire setup of microphones, all this kind of stuff, and we did interviews or conversations. I asked them, and it was all about them, right? So people sometimes get a little, and I mentioned this before, they get kind of apprehensive about, being interviewed or having a conversation like this because they think the questions that they're going to be asked are questions they don't know the answers to. I'm going to stump them. It's not about stumping. It's about elevating yourself, elevating your brand. Talk about who you are, what you do, and how you can help people, right? Who do you work for? How long you been there? Did you choose hospitality? Did hospitality choose you? Okay, or did you choose meeting planning, or did meeting planning choose you? So it's all about telling that story that people want to hear. It's all about selling yourself, right? Because you want people to be comfortable in order for them to buy your destination or your hotel or whatever hospitality services you are basically selling to them, right? But it all starts with you. So that's what I'm talking about. That's where the partnership came in. So today's topic is 3 reasons why a partnership is a good thing. Because some people are like, I want to do this on my own. I don't want to partner with anybody. I just want to do it my own. Just leave me alone. Okay, you can do that, but and you may get the same results, but it's going to take you probably a little longer to get there. But anyway, let's go through them anyway, just to pacify me. Okay, can we go through these? Thank you. And once again, these will be on my blog on my website, russellofhotels.com, after the show's over, right? They're not there now, but they will be there. 3 reasons why a partnership is a good thing. Number 1 is shared resources and expertise. Partnerships allow both parties to leverage each other's strengths, networks, and expertise, creating more value than working alone. Yeah, could I have done this on my own? Yeah, I probably could have. But with North Star's blessing and having a captive audience, the people are coming. Okay, they're coming. They're there. So why not partner with them? The people are already there, right? So I kind of knew that the people were going to be there, right? I offered my services, and it was met with that's a great idea. Let's do it. So I appreciate them, right? So they allow me to do this, to bring in and add more value to North Star moving forward. And just like it add more value to, Russell of Hotels too. Maybe give me a little bit, maybe I can stick my chest out a little more now because of I'm partnering with North Star to do these things, right? So this is a good thing. Partnership is great. The next one, expanded reach and visibility. Collaborating with the right partner can expose your brand to new markets, audiences, and opportunities you may not have access on your own. Could I have done this? No. Maybe I could have picked and choose a couple people, right? But could I have done 11 at one time? No, I could not have done that. So there you go. So it is a good thing. Everything's going to end with this is a good thing. And the third one, mutual growth and support. A true partnership is built on shared success. When one wins, both win. Ooh, I love that. A win-win. You heard that before? It's a win-win. Fostering long-term relationships and repeat opportunities. Yeah, I'm hoping I get to do this again. I can't wait to do this again. So that's what I'm talking about. It's all about partnerships, right? So these were the 3 reasons why a partnership is a good thing. I should have put why a partnership is a great thing, because I think it's a great thing. And I think North Star, well, I know North Star is a great partner. So thank you again, North Star, the people, and made those decisions like David Blansfield, as well as Shalise. I appreciate Shalise Damat. I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. In fact, Shalise, she took one for the team. Okay, so she actually allowed me to have a conversation with her, and that's going to be good. Now, see, these conversations are coming out in the next week or so. All right, so I've gotten a couple back already, but they needed because a lot of times these need to be edited. Well, 100% of the times, all the things that we're doing, all the content that we created, it needs to be edited, professionally edited. So someone has to go back behind, and we all make mistakes. We all say something wrong, or we all need to get things out of these conversations, right? That's why I don't. That's why I do a lot of live things, because I don't like to edit, right? So, but these need to be edited. They have to be edited, and I understand, right? So the finished product is going to be good, though. So just wait, be patient. We're going to put those out, and then the whole world's going to be able to see it, and it's going to be something spectacular. So yeah, so that's why we do what we do. So be patient on that, but those will be coming out in the next week or so. All 11, hopefully all 11 come out. Well, I don't know if they come out the same time, but we'll see. But in the next week or so, they'll be coming out. So there you go. Once again, these will be on my blog, so you don't have to commit them to memory. So if you see anything, you go to my website and you see partnership, because in fact, I just created a partnership page on my website. So guess who the first partner is? It's North Star. Boom. There you go. So appreciate you. Once again, this is the PGA National Resort in Florida. On air with Russell of Hotels. That's that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. I've done 309 shows as of yesterday. Next week will be 310, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. So feel free to check that out. If you have not seen yesterday's episode, please go ahead. The replay is on LinkedIn, not on YouTube, on LinkedIn only. Because remember, I was doing live from the Moxie Hotel downtown, and I was only able to transmit to one platform. And I chose LinkedIn because LinkedIn is my platform of choice. I'm just going to say it. So make sure, okay, speaking of LinkedIn, okay, so this is real quick. This is a bonus that you guys get. One thing that I love is when the people that I met with, previously at Destination Southeast, which is a North Star event, they reach out to me via LinkedIn, or they want to connect with me on LinkedIn. That's good, right? So once you've had your appointments, your one-on-one appointments, or maybe these are people that did the Elevate Your Brand, right? Maybe they allowed me to have conversations with them, and we weren't connected on LinkedIn. Well, they reached out to me, and they want to connect. That is a good thing, right? So don't forget that everyone should have LinkedIn. No one out there in the hospitality space, specifically if you're in sales, you should always have a LinkedIn profile, a LinkedIn page, and you should always connect with people, okay? 100% of the time, right? So what you should do, if you don't do this already, and shame on you if you don't, because you should have been doing this a while back, when you get the business cards, you get back to your office, because remember, that's when the work starts. The work doesn't start when you're doing a one-on-one appointments, when you're out by the pool, or at the watering hole in the lobby. Okay, that's not when the work is. I mean, you're creating that groundwork. You're putting the feelers down, if you will. But you're working what they call the groundwork. You're putting in the groundwork, whatever the heck it is. Do that. But when you get back to your office, that's when the work starts. That's when you need to go through all those business cards you have amassed, or your schedule of appointments, go through those, cross-reference, and then go to LinkedIn and basically go one by one, Russell, Edmund, boom, okay, ask to connect with them. I think that's the best way to do things, right? You can communicate through LinkedIn. Of course, we all have each other's emails and all that kind of stuff as well, but I think it's important that you connect with them on LinkedIn as well. So I appreciate the people that have reached out to me via LinkedIn and wanted to connect. And they send messages like, oh, it was great meeting you here, blah, 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 let's continue. Oh, I see you do a podcast. I'm like, well, yeah, it's on my profile. But yeah, so just make sure that you continue that conversation, because it's important. All that is important with laying the groundwork to potentially get business, okay? People are going to book with people that they know and that they're comfortable with, okay? Even me, although I don't make decisions on where my groups go, because that's up to my client to make that decision, but they do ask me, like, which one would you go with? You have a good feeling about this one or that one? And I'm always going to go with the hotel that I resonate with the most. I mean, the hotel is good, but the person that everything go well with them, that I connect with them, that's more than likely, the difference maker for me. Because everyone has a hotel, everyone has recently renovated rooms, everyone has a restaurant or food and beverage outlets, they got meeting space, they have all that. But what separates people, or what separates hotel, are the people. So did you have a great relationship? Did you click with that person, or did you not? Okay. If I didn't click with them, I'm not referring them. Now they can still choose that hotel, but if they ask me, I'm like, why would you choose this one? Why would you choose that one? Well, because of A, B, and C, right? So just make sure it's all about, like I said, it's all about the relationships. It starts with you. You're the brand, okay? So make sure you point to yourself and say, I'm the brand, okay? Because you are the brand that we buy from. We will buy from you before we buy that hotel or that destination or that rental car or go to that restaurant, whatever. We're going to buy you. So there you go. And this is some of the meeting space at the PGA Resort. This is actually the foyer, like pre-function space or whatever. So those are high boys, of course, right there. So we had our lunch, like the buffet was set right there, the buffet. I used to have this food and beverage director. He would call it a buffet. Is it buffet or is it buffet? I don't know, but when he said it, it didn't sound right because everybody called it a buffet, and that's what I always knew it as, a buffet. But then we get this new food and beverage person come in. He's like, "Oh, the buffet. You're going to set up a buffet?" I'm like, "You mean buffet? No, buffet." I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'm out." Okay, but anyway, so we had everything set already. So the breaks were out here, and like I said, the food, the buffet was out here as well, and it overlooked. Well, they had natural lighting, which is good, right? I was going to say it overlooked the golf course. No, it actually overlooked the parking lot, if you really want to think. But it had a sitting area outside. Not that anyone was sitting out there because it was 200 degrees, but and humid. 200 degrees and humid. Oh, that's crazy. That's a recipe for something. But no, it was cool though. And thank God the air conditioner worked very well at the PGA National. I mean, when I got in my room, it was 65 degrees. Okay, that's what it was set to that already, and I kept it at that. It was perfect. Oh my God, it was perfect. So shout out to the engineering department at the PGA National Resort. They do a great job because anywhere you can walk in that hotel is 65 degrees. Okay, that's what you want, right? Especially when it's 100 or so outside. I grew up in Blythe, California, right? I know heat, right? So believe me, my parents kept it. Remember, my mom would keep it was like at 80 degrees. I'm like, why is it 80 degrees in the house? You have an air conditioning. Well, it feels fine for me. I'm like, it's 100. She goes, Russell, it's 120 degrees outside. It's 80 in here. Isn't it cooler? I'm like, yeah, but I'm still sweating. So anyway. Okay, we're almost done here. Like I said, these don't have to be that long. I just get kind of long-winded. I haven't talked to anyone today, so you're the only people I get to talk to. So once again, partnership, North Star and Russell of Hotels. Thank you again for that. And my website has kind of been updated. I've been putting a lot of new information in there, just updating some things. So check that out. Just go russellofhotels.com. Check that out. I came up with a partnership page. If you're interested in partnering with Russell of Hotels, that goes for hotels, that goes for DMCs, that goes for anything in hospitality, okay? There's a whole page, a whole section devoted to that, okay? So feel free to reach out to me, Russell at Russell of Hotels. My phone number is in there, my website, I just gave the website, my phone number and my email, or you can reach me on LinkedIn like I was just talking about for the last hour or so. So those are the ways that I can communicate, or you can communicate with me, but it's all up to you, right? So just go Russell at russellofhotels.com. That is email, or just go russellofhotels.com, and that's my website, and you get all the information. You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. So remember that I'm visible. I do this show. It's because it's part of my strategy. Since 2019, I came up with a strategic approach to be more visible, and that had to do with the On Air with Russell of Hotels, the podcast. Because remember, podcasts were traditionally all 100% audio, okay? But then came this advent of what they call it Facebook Live, where you're able to take that podcast and make it now a visual thing, right? Because you had video and you're still talking, but now people want to see you. They don't necessarily want to just hear. Well, some people do want to hear. They don't want to see. But that was a game changer for me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to adapt this and I'm going to continue to do these things, right? And that's what I continue to do. And here we are today, right? So it's all about visibility for your brand, right? Hotels, anything hospitality, DMOs, anything hospitality, I just say that. It's important that, especially you as a brand, and that's the individuals, right? We buy you before we buy anything. So you got to be visible. You have to elevate your brand, and you elevate your brand by, through being visible. So there you go. That is it. I'm done because I know I'm talking a lot, and but that's okay. That's just what I do. But guess what? Tomorrow we'll do it again. So tomorrow's Thursday, so I do daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, so I got 2 more days to do this. So if you're tired of me today, well, give me another shot because we'll do it again tomorrow. Anyway, you guys have a great day, great afternoon. Happy hump day. And as always, you guys, peace. That's all I'm going to say. Peace out.